3, 2, 1. Hey folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G.
We're recording this Memorial Day, May 27th, 2019.
Shout out to all the veterans out there. And we have one veteran in the house behind our production table. Thank you, sir, for your services. Even though you didn't really do shit, doing laundry doesn't really count. But,
Someone's gonna watch the toys.
No. All bullshit aside, I want to put all jokes aside, and I do want to say thank you to every veteran that has fought for our rights and gave me the right to be able to talk shit this way. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. It's a great Memorial Day weekend. Everybody working, I'm so sorry for you. I'm really not, but that's the right thing to say. And everybody, enjoying the day off. I hope that you continue to enjoy your day off. And if you're barbecuing, let us know where you're at. Send us a message or something because we hungry.
Man, you know this isn't live, right?
Yeah, I know, but somebody will save me a plate.
I know some of y'all got leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take leftovers. I'll take anything.
It's the kind of people I'm looking for to get into my life. The kind of people that make entirely too much food.
Exactly.
Those are my people.
Definitely, yes. So yeah, happy Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend. And I was going somewhere with that.
Merry Bank Holiday.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Just a cynical joke at our capitalistic system based on, just the fact that, you can access an ATM today, but good luck talking to a human being.
Word. I get it now. I get it. Hey man, I was curious to ask you just because I want to know, and I'm like a nosy motherfucker anyway, right? That's what I do.
Noticed.
How do you normally start your day off? Normally, do you have like a do you have like a routine? Like, do you have a?
It varies occasionally. Like I may, stick to something for about a week, but the normal routine basically is get up, maybe some minor stretching, cup of coffee, big glass of water, and
So you get water up in you.
Water is the constant throughout, regardless of how the routine may vary, the constant throughout is water at this point.
Yeah. The reason I point that out is because I read somewhere that if you drink a 12-ounce cup of water before, like if it's the last thing that you intake before you go to bed,
right,
and then it's the first thing you intake when you first wake up, you increase your calorie burning by up to like 50%, 15 or 20%, something like that. But it needs to be on an empty stomach before your coffee. And then you can do coffee. But if you do coffee, you have to do it black with nothing, no sugar, just black.
I've had varying success with either black coffee or say buttered coffee. I is how I often to take it.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said for it, because the whole idea of taking the water in on an empty stomach is as soon as you activate your liver, your body is kind of like, it's like, oh, we're doing the food thing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it takes a while for that to cycle back to like, standby. My weak understanding of how the metabolism works is basically like that. It's man.
Well,
so like water and salt are basically the only thing you can take in that isn't going to trigger the rest of the system to kind of start pumping up.
And you got that part right, because like that's the whole point. When you intake water does not contain any calories, but
right.
What it does do, like you said, it activates your liver and it activates your metabolism. So you're basically waking it up too, and you're telling it, your body's like, hey,
Well, no, it's not that it activates it. Probably my all right. Again, my weak ass amateur guess would be like, all right, there are ongoing like metabolism functions of the metabolism. You know what I mean? That are basically whether you have eaten or not eaten, these functions are going on. You know what I mean? And then there's the like digestive functions which occur when you start taking in food, and that as soon as you drink the coffee is activating, you know, the salivary glands, the whole all the shit with the esophagus and the mucus and then the stomach acids and all that shit. And so those don't kick in if you're just taking in like water and salt. Like I keep saying salt because I have made an active effort in the past few years to actually put salt into like that morning glass of water. Cause
oh fuck that, I can't do that. I've tried it once.
Yeah.
Because the water and the salt are supposed to purify your body of like any toxins, and it helps like remove them quicker as far as I understand.
That was kind of what I was getting to as far as like helping with the keeping your metabolism going.
Yeah.
Is if you get dehydrated during the night, those ongoing functions that, you know, the stuff that's happening all the time, they slow down and might, you know, stop.
Yeah.
Whereas if you stay hydrated, take the glass of water before bed, take the glass of water when you wake up, it's you just lubricating the system.
Yeah. And from what I understand, again, I have very minor knowledge of, and I've only read this through like online sources and whatnot. But the whole point, going to with what you're saying, the whole point of you drinking that glass of water before you go to bed is so that it maintains those functions throughout the night, and also it uses the oxygen like in the water to pump fresh blood with fresh oxygen throughout your body, so that it continues to do what it does, and then what it's supposed to do, and then in turn, what happens is your body while you're asleep, it also boosts your calorie burning while you're sleeping, but it needs to be like water. That's why they make it they make it a point to make it sound very crucial that it's water that you're just supposed to intake. And then because water again doesn't have any calories, and you're gonna wake up in the morning, you're gonna piss all that out, and then that's why that additional cup of water on an empty stomach in the morning again helps you.
And that probably works best if again going with like the way, you know, your body cycles up and cycles down. If it's in, you know, digestive mode, if you have like eaten far enough, you know, away from when you're going to bed, when you're taking the glass of water in, that your digestive functions have already shut down, then, you know, basically you're priming the pump with the water, and your body is in that, you know, fasting mode. So any calories you're burning, it's not trying to digest food in the system.
Exactly.
It's just,
and that's why it boosts. It boosts, like you were saying, every other function in your body and your metabolism and all of that. Right. What is, if you don't mind sharing?
Just as a bit of an aside, that's one reason that the whole staying hydrated thing is one reason. If you look up reviews for like hangover pills,
yeah,
like most of those hangover pills, the instructions.
I've never tried that shit.
Well, did you guys know that actually donating blood does that for you, but faster than
what does what?
Hydrating you. Like if you're gonna go get
donating blood, hydrates you.
Yeah, it rejuvenates your blood. It makes you pump more and produce more. And
can I still work out?
Yeah, and
then afterwards.
Well, you have to give it some time, but
I was gonna say, man, maybe over like 3 or 4 days afterwards, or maybe a week. But
it actually removes a lot of these like cancerous cells from your body. I mean, you're donating.
And I'm gonna give those cancer cells to somebody
someone
else.
Really needs it. I mean, I don't think they're gonna be choosy about the blood. You know.
I'm not using this cancer. You take it.
Hold on, time out, because that sounds interesting, but I'm not sure I'm following you. So they take blood from me, and what happens to me?
You just like basically you just get like low blood sugar for a little bit.
That is not
You get 40
good.
bucks
Yeah.
and some orange juice.
Or you get free movie tickets if you.
They're not giving money anymore?
No, they're not giving money.
Oh,
But
fuck
you,
that.
but you gotta go to
Excuse
the movie. You get free movie tickets.
They're not giving money anymore.
Yeah.
At all? They don't give...
Wait,
It's
is
you
this
donating
blood or plasma?
plasma. Oh no, this is blood.
Okay.
I don't know
yeah,
about the
all
health
right.
benefits of plasma, but
Hmm.
it actually, since you're donating blood, it also eliminates a lot of the stress on your liver, so it's good for your liver too.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not seeing the correlation because, again, I'm probably too stupid to explain this, but from the little bit that I understand is the more blood that is pulled out of you, like it actually takes iron. So when it takes iron, your strength and your strength overall kind of like diminishes a lot. So
Well-
I don't know how.
Just as a
that's-
side note to everybody involved in this conversation and anybody that's listening, anytime you hear somebody say, this is what this activity should do, that automatically assumes that you're coming from a place of at least reasonable health. Like if you're an iron deficient, don't donate blood. As a matter of fact, they'll probably tell you not
Yeah,
to.
Yeah,
Don't-
that's
don't
what
do
I'm
that.
saying. Like that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
they test you before you go in.
That's why like this
they
is,
learned that lesson.
Yeah. No
this is
STDs
me
here.
this is me like saying like from a like when you have functioning kidneys and that everything's good with your blood and that you're able to but I mean still because when you donate blood, bro, I've only done it once or twice. Like they take a good chunk of blood from you. That's what I'm saying.
I have never willingly. I take that back. I have once or twice sat passively by as somebody took blood from me, but god damn, I hated every minute of it. Like,
You're afraid of needles too?
I do not like the idea, man. Like it's amazing that like I can see very graphic and I'm talking like real images without much of a problem, but
Well, because it's not in front of you.
But dude, I've listened to people describe like surgery or injuries of a certain sort to like veins or arteries, and just the idea of that. That's the closest I've ever come to like fainting.
Yeah.
I guess.
Me too. Like two things about me is that I can't see needles.
Mm.
I'm horrified of needles and blood. Like if I see blood in a extent, like again a surgery, I'll pass the fuck out. I have no shame in like admitting that. I won't because I just can't.
I have a sneaking suspicion that like a lot of my aversion to needles goes back to like I had my tonsils taken out when I was probably about 6 or 7, and I saw them pull the IV out of my hand.
Hmm.
Like it was one of those, behind on the back of the hand
Yeah.
motherfuckers. And in my and granted, I was probably still a little doped up, at this point when they were doing this, but in my childhood view and imagination, this needle was like fucking 6 inches long,
Yeah.
and it came out like, imagine like a reverse version of you remember that in RoboCop he had that spike that would come out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, only coming out of my hand, man, and like that image stuck with me, man.
Fuck.
And just because like I didn't even know, like I thought that shit was just taped to the back of my hand. I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah. You didn't know that there was something actually there. So
Yeah,
you're-
in my motherfucking hand, man. Ugh.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah, needles and blood. I definitely cannot deal with. And it's
See,
funny,
that's
like
the funny thing, though, man. Like the idea of like an injury, it could almost make me pass out. But like I have been like pretty, like I've had to like staunch my own bleeding a couple of times, and like I react pretty well to that. But like it's the idea that I might be bleeding. Just
Yeah,
it doesn't sit well.
yeah. And it's funny. Like I always get the same rebuttal from people that I tell that to. People that know that I have a shitload of tattoos. And they're like, oh, how the fuck do you get tattoos? People, you need to fucking understand that when you get a tattoo, you don't fucking see the needle. All you see is a gun. You know that there's needles inside. And I've told people before, as long as I don't see the needle, I'm good. If you show me that needle, it's a done deal. You're not putting that thing in.
Well, also, man, the sensation of the needle gun is... It doesn't feel like a singular
needle.
point.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels like a blunt object.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if they're using a multi-headed gun, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yes. And that's the other thing. In an actual tattoo gun, a lot of people don't know that there's 6 to 8 needles going at you at once. It's not one like Sean was saying. The thought of one fucking needle this big going into a piece of your body is what fucking like horrifies me. And I hate when people tell me it's gonna be all right, you're a grown man. No, bitch, I'm not gonna be all right. Don't show me that needle. You know what I mean? So as long as I don't see it, it helps my mind. It helps me tell my mind that okay, it's like it's not a needle, it's something else. I avoid it. I don't look at it. So kind of like out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Well, you kind of fucked up my segue with needles and blood and shit. But this is gonna sound totally fucked up.
Oh,
but
you had a plan, motherfucker?
I was actually gonna ask you, what's your diet like?
If I'm sticking to my preferred diet, it's
like daily. What is your daily diet like?
Lately, man, it's been a lot of fruit and
what kind of
like,
fruit?
Recently, it fucking grapes and strawberries.
Just grapes and strawberries. Apples?
Yeah, that was what was around. No, I'm not a big fan of... Every once in a while, man, like I might get an apple. But yeah, man, I just... Not a big fan.
Gotcha. And no, but I mean, like throughout the day, what's your diet like? Like, because I'm pretty sure you don't go off of fruit all day or
No, I didn't get to finish that thought, man. Like, it's like usually what I try to stick to, man, is meat and vegetables, man. You know what I mean? Meat and greens. But to be honest, man, for a while now, like, go back and watch some of the old videos of the episodes, man. Fucking, you can watch some of the weight gain taking place, man. I
think I remember that through some of the pictures too.
Yeah.
Because honestly, man, we and I include myself in this because I'm the same way.
Potato chips, man. It's a love passion of mine.
Like I was looking at some of the older pictures that we had put up when we started the podcast, and we were both on the heavy end. Like I was like,
so actually, I'm on the heavier end right now than I was at that point. Yeah, man.
And I don't see it. Like, to me, you look heavier in the pictures than now. But
yeah,
maybe I just might be looking at you sideways.
Yeah, the miracle of looser T-shirts.
So then meat and vegetables. Do you stick to red meat or?
Not red meat, chicken. I don't eat a lot of fish, but you know, if it's around, you know what I mean. Maybe some frozen cuts, a little bit of salmon, a little bit of tilapia or something like that.
And you make all of this, right?
Oh yeah, I can cook, man. What I was gonna say was, man, I think a lot of, if you're trying to if I'm kind of, you know, looking ahead where you might be going with this line of thought, I think the main key to maintaining a good diet is just stocking your kitchen with the shit you want to eat. Like that, in that perfect moment, you know what I mean, when you're awake at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. You're not quite ready to go to bed. You're thinking about what you could be doing, but hey, it's dark outside, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That little moment of like, no, I understand how to fix all these problems. When you're in that state of mind, like, think about what you want to your diet to look like. Write that shit down, then go to the store and buy that shit so that you've kind of put yourself in a position. Like, don't get me wrong, you can get around it if you're a real fucking, stubborn motherfucker. You could look at a refrigerator full of like, great healthy food and go, fucking, I'm on Taco Bell, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me them nachos, dog.
Yeah. No, and
fake ass meat.
And the reason, part of the reason as into why I'm asking this was because like recently, I want to say I've been doing it for 3 weeks now, almost a month.
You saying you all lost them like almost like 20 pounds, right?
Yeah, I'm up to right now 21 pounds. Like, cause I weigh myself every Sunday. So I weighed myself yesterday morning, and I'm up to 21 pounds. When I started I started at 190, and I'm down to 169. That's what I was pushing on yesterday on Sunday. And a lot of people tell me, like, they've asked me, the people that I've shared that with, like, is it a diet or is it like a lifestyle change? And the way I'd like to look at it now is like a lifestyle change, because I want to stick to this, and more so not because I'm trying to look better. I don't do it for the looks, because like when you're ugly and you can't fix that. You can lose all the pounds in the world. And that's not gonna go away, I'm doing it more so because I started noticing, and we've talked about this off air. I started noticing that I would be sitting down, and I mean this shit like no joke to the people watching and listening. I'd be sitting down, and for no fucking reason at all, I would be out of breath sometimes. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? That, like, I'm not doing anything. Why am I out of breath,
That's a red flag, man.
Exactly. So I actually went to the doctor. I went to the doctor and I got checked out, and my levels were all fucked up. My blood pressure was through the roof. My cholesterol was through the roof. My triglycerides were through the roof. And I'll never forget, the doctor told me, he's like, bro, I was 31 at the time. He was like, you're 31 years old, and these fucking numbers, it looks like the numbers that I should have. Now, keep in mind, my doctor's he's 60 or 65. So he's like, there's something like horribly wrong here. He's like, you're on your way to a heart attack, like within like 10 years or whatnot. Now, like I have a kid, so like that kind of put things into perspective for me. And I just thought, it'd be nice to stick around a little longer with shit that I can control, shit that is within my reach. So I kind of started doing that, and that was part of the reason for that.
Dude, honestly, to throw this out there, man, like, all right, a lot of people see somebody that like is sticking to exercise and diet and all that stuff, and they think, now don't get me wrong, man, a good diet and exercise and all that stuff is good for you, but like, I think the idea of having that routine and having that thing that, like, think about when you talk to like really old people who are still in shape.
Yeah. They
have a routine. They have a thing that they do.
And that's what I mean by you turn it into a lifestyle instead of it being a diet. Because if you're on a diet, then your mind and within yourself, you're telling yourself that you're only going to do this for an extended period of time. But you're going to reach your goal, and then you're planning to go back to whatever the fuck it was you're doing before. And if you do that, it's just going to be like a never-ending cycle. Something that I wanted to throw out there in regards to that is like, is the fact that, like I said, I really do enjoy fucking like breathing. Just you don't know how much you miss that until it's gone, or you struggle. I used to not be able to walk like 2 blocks and I would be like out of breath or whatever, and like that's what made me feel like it's something that I need to change. Something that I've come to find out since I've been doing this shit, you would be surprised how little food we need, and the key word is little and need, to actually survive
Yeah.
as human beings. Like, we don't need a shitload. You could literally survive with a cup of everything. And what I mean by that is you can have one daily cup of vegetables, one daily cup of fruit, one daily cup of meat or whatever your choice of protein is, and one cup of carbs. Now, the cup, because I've been reading up a lot on this shit as well, the carbs are the ones that are tricky. The carbs are the only ones that you can have a cup. You just need to kind of sort of watch what kind of carbs. Like, for example,
Like complex carbs and
yeah,
simple carbs.
exactly. That's where I was going. The complex carbs and shit like that. So, like, for example, you can have one cup, and see, with me, when it comes to rice and beans, because normally those are the carbs I choose, I keep it to half a cup so that it gives me the leeway of having that extra half in case I have like a half a piece of cake or whatever. Because the other thing, and a lot of, like, something a lot of people don't know, is that what really kills you more than carbs is your sugar intake, because your body turns sugar automatically
Right.
into carbs, and then that sugar sticks to your fat, and then that basically doubles the fat that you have in your body.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can break it down to the, like, cup of this, cup of that, but there is something to be said for the importance of what that cup is made of. Like,
What do you mean?
well, all right, something fibrous, like I don't know, like shit. I just fucking blanked out like a motherfucker. All right, like papaya is a pretty good fruit if you
Yeah.
have like,
And it's a fat burner. It's a natural fat burner.
yeah, if you, for like diabetes, or if you have like an insulin like sensitivity or whatever it is.
If you
Yeah.
got something to say, man, you more than, because I know you know about this shit too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, by the way, for the regular listeners, all three of you, we've got a technical guy behind the camera. Did we mention that?
Yeah, I think we did before.
All right, cool. We're just talking.
Joaquin is behind the camera.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not Freddy throwing his voice.
yeah, I'm not talking to an invisible man.
I
and
mean, you
shit.
were telling me about that, ventriloquist bit you wanted to try out. But,
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'll keep trying to talk you out of it, but
Um,
I do what I can, people.
It also, like, certain sugars also, like, cause a lot of inflammation in your body.
yeah,
Like lactose. And
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to point that out to someone, man. Like, there is a vast difference between sugar, like straight sucrose, and fucking what is it called? The high fructose corn syrup, or straight
Yeah.
up,
that
corn-
shit kills you.
yeah. The response that it causes in your body is, like, I think of it like this, man. Like, I can eat, a shitload of fruit and go to bed, wake up in the morning, and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
Try drinking like a Coke or something
Oh,
like that
hell
before you
no.
go to bed. You'll wake up and you're dehydrated as fuck,
yeah,
because
because of the sugar.
your body basically goes into like fucking super storage mode. It's like, oh, we gotta build some fat cells, and
Yeah,
that requires
yeah.
water. Oh, this motherfucker didn't drink enough. Well, fuck it, we're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. And then what that does, it puts you into like fucking starvation mode.
Yeah.
Your body goes
Yeah.
into starvation mode, and it starts to cling on to the little bit of fats and whatever it is that you threw into your body.
Well, dude, you want to talk about some secondary shit? And this one kind of like, because I had a problem with like cavities when I was like probably like 12 to like 19 or so. Like every time I'd go in, my dentist, motherfucker, you starting to get a cavity or something. I also had a problem with waking up dehydrated, like just being like massively like dry. I ended up having like one of those humidifiers, like right next to my bed. It's one of these cheap little motherfuckers. It was basically a fan sitting over like a water.
Bottle of water and shit.
Yeah. Cheap motherfuckers. But also great to cover up bong smells, but that's a secondary lesson, kids. But I've found out at one point, man, when you get when your mouth gets dehydrated, you're no longer salivating. The bacteria that builds plaque and eats away at your enamel prefers that environment to like your saliva is actually a defense against all that shit. So if you stay hydrated, your mouth is lubricated and everything's going on properly, then that in itself is part of your defense against tooth decay. But if you're, going to bed and sleeping for 7 hours, dehydrated as fuck, your mouth is dry, all of that, well, guess what? You're going to have some problems when it comes to, taking care of your teeth.
And the other point that I wanted to add to that, going back to the thing that we were talking about, drinking a glass of water before going to bed, is that when you drink the water and then the water in turn sends oxygenated blood through your bloodstream and it starts burning the calories and everything.
That's a lot more complicated than you just laid out, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much that's the gist of it. But when you also do that, it regenerates. And I shouldn't have started this point because I forgot the name of the fucking thing. It regenerates a chemical that you have in your body that strengthens the blood vessels in your heart. So because it strengthens the blood vessels, in turn your heart takes less effort to pump blood, which it conserves and it prevents the because of all the oxygen and the new oxygen that's going through your body and your blood, it stops plaque from building in your arteries. So and I'm just saying this because I didn't know just how beneficial, like how many benefits you could get just off of drinking 1 glass of water every night before you go to bed. And because I know a lot of people have the same excuse that I used to have. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to do that shit because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss because it interrupts.
Oh, well, that's another thing, man. If you're not, a lot of people don't realize when you like change up your diet and are more mindful about your say sugar intake and all that.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to like allowing yourself to come out of like digestive mode before you go into sleep. Get ready to go to sleep. That diuretic function of like you drink that glass of water. Well, that's not going to get automatically converted into fucking piss. Like, it's not like, all right. It's like the whole thing about like giving somebody a soda on a hot summer day. Like all they're gonna do is piss out all the water that was in their system. It's the same thing with like if you you take in a bunch of sugar before you go to bed, your body's gonna try to have to use that water that you just took in for like functions. If you haven't taken in water, it'll drain whatever you do have. Whereas what I'm trying to say is, man, I think like that whole like having to get up to take a piss in the middle of the night is probably a sign of something, not just like, oh, maybe my bladder is getting weaker as I'm getting older or something like that. Like, I think there's something there about like the diuretic function going on, like with your metabolism and your sugar response.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And something that I wanted to share since we're on that actual subject is going back to mine being a lifestyle change or a diet or being a diet is I didn't really change much. The only thing that I stopped eating completely was bread, tortillas, and Cokes. That's it. Oh, and fast food. I don't do fast food. Now the only difference is when I tell you that I don't do it period. Like there's no cheat day to where I'll go have McDonald's, or there's no like I stopped doing it like completely. Now the only thing that sucks about this lifestyle change, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how long I'm gonna continue with this part of it, is also I don't drink juices or I don't drink anything with any kind of flavor in it, which means that I'm drinking nothing but water. I drink water with everything, everything. And to this day, I mean, it's only been 3 weeks in. Actually, this is the start of my fourth week. But in 4 weeks, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm not used to it. And I'm not gonna lie. To me, it sucks eating everything with water. It really fucking sucks. And I have a couple of people that keep telling me that I'm gonna get used to it. That I'm gonna build a palate and I'm gonna get used to it. One other thing, um, I will have the occasional black coffee, um, like, but I don't do it every day anymore. Like I'll do it like once or twice out of the week. And when I do black coffee, it's that's exactly what it is. It's black coffee, no sugar, no nothing.
Have you looked into like sparkling water?
Yeah,
Like flavored waters?
I did. The only reason as into why I didn't go down that route is because of the sodium content. A lot of those are real high in sodium, and my blood pressure's fucked up, like really fucked up. So that's why I chose not to go.
No,
That's why when
I think it's a lot less than like a Diet Coke, isn't it?
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. It's less than a Diet Coke, but it's still like because of my like the high blood pressure, whatever. It's still too much, and I don't wanna I don't wanna fuck with it. That's the reason why, as into like when I work out, like I don't do Gatorade because a lot of people don't know that Gatorade has a shitload of sodium in it. And yeah, it keeps you hydrated with electrolytes, but at what cost? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
the salt is the whole point.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. The salt and everything. I mean that's what kills you. And I say I don't know because I mean I have a goal in mind where I want to get down to. Like I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm when I started this, I was pushing 190. As of yesterday, I'm down to 169, and my goal is to get down to 150.
Yeah, and then speaking of inflammation, actually, like those aspartame sugars and the Splenda sugars and stuff like that, those cause a lot of inflammation and dehydration.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
A great point that you bring up that just reminded me of something. Another thing that I didn't know, and I'm pretty sure other people may not know either. When we talk about sugar and the sugar intake, I was under the impression that you should limit completely the sugar intake. Like for example, when you eat a fruit that is very sugary,
Right.
that like that too. But what I didn't understand that I now know, when people talk about your sugar intake, they're talking about more so the added sugar that you eat, which means that in a way you can eat a lot of fruits even if they're like very sugary.
It depends on how you respond to it, man. That's going to be different depending on the individual.
Yeah, and that's where I was going. It depends on the individual, and it also depends on your level of activity.
Right.
Because I mean that's something that I also left out. I started working out, and I actually work out every day. I work out 7 days a week. Like no days off or whatever, because like I'm really trying to like hit that goal or whatever. But yeah, it depends on your level of activity. If you keep a high intensity, high activity daily, you don't have to worry about like eating sugary fruits or anything like that. It's more so the added sugar. sugar that you would add to coffee, sugar that you would add to like a smoothie if you make smoothies at home. Anything added is what you really have to like watch out for. And I actually got that from my doctor. So he's like, it's more of like the added sugar that you intake. So yeah, like and the only reason that I point that out is because like I didn't change a lot in my diet. Oh, and what I do wanna say, add to that as well is that I kicked into high protein, so I eat a lot of meat, like a lot. I eat steak, I eat fucking fish, I eat chicken. I do eat a lot more chicken than anything else. But I mean it's very, but I don't have anything else. I don't have any other carbs or anything like that. The doctor did also tell me that I should have at least 1 to 2 cups of carbs a week, because he's like it also does help with your metabolism. So he's like, have 1 or 2 cups of carbs a week. Do it like on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever at the beginning of your week, and then like that's it. But I did find out that because your body turns everything into sugar, that you can survive with no carbs. A lot of doctors won't recommend it. They won't straight out come out and tell you like zero carbs, it's okay, you'll be fine. But technically, like as far as a living, breathing human being and the way we're wired and constructed, you can survive on zero carbs because of the fact that everything that you eat, your body turns into sugar in a way. So
be honest, man. If people are cutting out carbs for like weight loss effort, the better advice is to cut out grains.
yeah, that's what the doc. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you can cheat and fuck up some baked potatoes, man. But you know,
Well, I mean,
it takes
even
a
if
lot
you
of effort.
do have baked potatoes, it's still okay to have it if you don't put anything on it other than salt
Yeah.
and pepper.
And my understanding is sweet potatoes are actually pretty
The
good.
better, yeah.
Yeah, you get a better response from the sugar because it's a more complex.
I might even think that like homemade carbs, like if you actually
Yeah.
like make your own pasta and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
exactly.
there's not those added stuff that makes it more harmful.
You probably miss out on a lot of the additives, and I don't mean miss out. Like you probably avoid the additives, but pretty much, man, if you're eating pasta, grain products of any sort, even rice or something like that, your body's reacting the same way. I mean, to be honest, I remember like when we're pretty much about the same age, man. When we were kids, they pushed fiber a lot in the diet, and part of that was because they had the fucking food pyramid that told us to be eating a shitload of fucking grain and shit.
Now that's, and again, I'm not an expert. I am gonna say, and I am gonna stand behind what I'm about to say, but I understand that I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not an expert. But just so you know, from my research and shit that I've read, I've read in current and recent articles, that food pyramid is bullshit. Is complete bullshit because, like you were saying, like the whole the balancing grain and stuff like that, and like all of that is bullshit because now that there's more research and more studies, they're finding out that there's a lot of things that you can eat that were not like in that food pyramid that are actually healthier for you and can help you process them easier and stuff like that.
Well, the thing also to consider is like everyone has like a different digestive system, like digestive process, and everyone's like their own, because like there's so many different, I guess, like breeds of like human that started off.
Yeah. And so I want to correct myself on something I said earlier. I lied. I actually just realized that I do consume 5 to 10 carbs. I think that's what's in the cup daily, and that comes from oatmeal. I have a cup of oatmeal. I have a cup of raw oatmeal every single morning on an empty stomach. Well, yeah, on an empty stomach, and that's what I have for breakfast.
And is this before you work out?
No, it's after I work out.
Are you adding clean fats into the diet as well?
As in, the only thing that I've added is, as far as clean fats, is avocados.
Right on, right on.
Yeah, avocados. It's about it.
Yeah.
And I do it because of the energy as well. I don't know if people know, but avocado is a good source of energy if you eat it, often. But yeah, I do it. I do it after my workout, but that's the only thing that I have like for breakfast. Like that's my complete breakfast. And the reason that I also do it is because for cholesterol reasons. Raw oatmeal is again, like you said, our cameraman. We all have different digestive systems, and we have different just a different system as a whole. So what I figured out that works best for me to lower my cholesterol pretty quick is like the raw oats, and I eat them like raw, just either in water or 2% milk, and the other thing that I really wanted to say, ever since I've been doing this, eating this way, and eating cleanly, bro, it feels so good to go to the restroom and take a shit, and it doesn't smell like anything. I will take a shit next to anybody, and my shit will not stink.
Dude, to be honest, that's a great gauge of like how your body's doing on whatever diet you're on. You know what I mean? Like if you switched your diet up in any way, just to monitor the consistency and the odor of your own leavings.
That's the other thing. Also, now that I shit, my shit is brown. The reason as to why I say that is when I was shitting before, my shit was coming out light green, yellow, and black.
Damn.
And that's what scared the shit out of me. I was like, I don't think that it should look like a chunk of fucking tar in the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And plus, the other thing, and for the ones that
that's like red flags for several organs.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's like motor dysfunctions right there.
Exactly, man. So, where was I going with that? Yeah. So now, like, it's brown now. It's been consistently brown, and also, I no longer struggle to take a shit. I could literally sit down, I'll take a shit real quick, wipe, get the fuck up. Before, I would have to sit there, wait, push, wait again, and I was like, what the and then, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm not with these motherfuckers, but for the people watching and listening, and then, like, I would finally take a shit, and it would hurt. Like, I literally feel like I've been raped a couple of times by a chunk of shit. I really do.
Is this your way of announcing to everyone that you have a grinder?
Pretty much.
Fellas, you can shit now.
Yeah, man. But yeah, now, like, yeah, being able to take a shit and it doesn't smell like anything is a beautiful thing.
Dude, I remember coming to the realization that, like, I shouldn't be farting all the time. Like,
we shouldn't? I thought that was just...
Yeah, no, man. Like, don't
so
be wrong.
So it's bad
man.
to fart all the time?
If it's constant, then yeah, man.
What? I mean, not constant, but
like throughout the day. Like, if don't be wrong. Like, if you've, like, say it's been a couple hours since you've eaten, and like your body is doing that whole, like, you know, transition what's in the pipeline down to the colon, then yeah, man. I mean, that's cool. But if, like, say you've woken up in the morning, you know, don't be wrong. Maybe you take that one good fart when you wake up just to relieve some pressure. But like, if you haven't eaten anything, if you haven't like put anything into the digestive system, and you're just farting, non sequitur farting,
Yeah.
there's no rhyme
Yeah.
or reason to it, then yeah, man, that's not a good thing. And well, I should point out, I'm saying this because for a good couple of years, man, like, yeah, it's just, wake up in the morning and be gassy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, man. But now, the only thing, and I've been reading upon it, but I haven't found an article that has given me a satisfying answer. And maybe one of y'all can, I mean, none of us in here are professionals, I get it. But
Not
maybe
by a
one of
long
y'all,
shot.
one of y'all can give me a little bit better understanding on maybe something I don't know. The only thing that worries me just a little bit is before, when I wasn't eating clean, I used to take a shit every day. Every day. I used to shit about twice, maybe sometimes even 3 times a day. Now that I've been eating this way, I've been working out, and I've been eating very clean, I can go 2 days, sometimes 3 days without taking a shit. But I don't get the urge. Like, I don't feel bloated. I don't feel constipated. I don't feel like today I'm on my second day that
You think it's because your body's like actually burning everything that you're consuming, and
you asking me or you?
yeah, like it's not like it's just like pushing the shit out because you're just packing it in. It's like just burning it and using it efficiently,
So you think that because of that, I should go days without taking a shit?
Well, I'm assuming so. I mean, you're working out, and then you're eating really clean and smaller portioned also.
Sean, thoughts?
Hey man, if you're not if you're staying hydrated and you're not like, dropping those blocked up hard constipated loads, then
Yeah, definitely not.
That's why those people that go up into the mountains to go meditate and get all hippie,
Yeah.
they like eat very green and they eat small, so they could just like be long periods of like in meditation without taking a shit or
Gotcha.
the need to take a shit.
So then I mean it's cool, or at least from what y'all know, it's cool that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll also be mindful of like I think it's if you're working out a lot and you feel like you're energy deficient, then I would say like maybe eat a little bit more. But
No, because that's the thing. I mean, Leo knows, and I mean, I know you don't know because I don't think we've ever eaten together. But
we've never discussed your shit before.
no, but like, see what I mean in regards to like with our cameraman. I still have the same appetite. Like I still eat a lot. Like I still eat a lot. But the only difference is everything that I'm eating is clean. You know.
Well, the thing is also you're turning down a lot more food.
What do you mean?
Like people bring you free food, opportunities for free food, and it's usually junk food.
You're still mad about the pizza, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I invited you for pizza, free pizza at that fact, dude.
you wanna tell him that story?
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to. No,
tell him what you told me. Tell him what did you tell me?
I said I liked fat Freddy better.
So
you heard it here, folks.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Sorry, cameraman. We hang out quite a bit, and he used to be my lunch buddy. And we went and we basically ate everywhere and we ate everything. Now that I've been eating clean, he still approaches me to have lunch or whatever. But since I don't eat the same way, I can't eat like a lot of the things that he eats. And about a week ago, he was very bitter because...
This was this weekend. It's Memorial Day. You can still get this deal.
No. Yeah, but you offered me this...
This is this weekend from Friday.
Oh, that's right. On Friday, he was like, "Hey man, we'll go get a pizza."
Shout out to
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars.
Shout out. Hopefully, we can get that sponsorship. Yeah. So he was like, "I can buy you a pizza and we get another one for free." Now, people keep in mind the way that I used to eat is I could finish a large pan pizza by myself. No problem. I would hate myself and feel like shit afterwards, but I could do it. You know what I mean? And like I said, my lunch buddy, knows that. So on Friday he was like, "We gonna get this free pizza," and I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, like I can't eat that way no more." And he was like, "Man, I like Fat Freddy better. I don't like this." Yeah, man. But to that point, to the pizza point, that's the only other thing that sucks about eating this way for me. One of my biggest poisons. I only have two food poisons when it comes to eating. Well, three. Number one,
Salmonella.
number one, that I can still continue eating, and I'm grateful for that. I love everything chicken, except for fried chicken. I don't do fried chicken. If I do fried chicken, it's gotta be KFC. I don't really fuck with anything else. Just KFC. Or Roscoe's if we're out in LA. But KFC is what I fuck with. If it's fried. But chicken is I'll choose chicken over anything else. The other thing is fucking pizza, man. I'm not saying it just because it's a kid food. Every kid loves it. But ever since I was a kid to a grown ass adult now, I fucking love pizza and wings. Again, back to chicken. Pizza and wings are my shit. And that's what I miss eating the most. The third thing that was my venom that I also cut out completely is candy. I was real big on candy. I gotta have candy. I would eat fucking candy on a daily basis.
And again, the problem with candy is not so much that it's sugar; it's that it's the fucking the high fructose corn syrup, yada yada.
Yeah.
And all the bullshit from the dyes and all that shit too.
Exactly. Man. So for the people that don't know, Freddy's favorite candy is Reese's peanut butter cup. You kill me with those shits.
Don't ever refer to yourself in the third person again, dog.
Oh shit! Why not?
That was creepy, dog.
It creepy the fuck out. Good. I rarely creep.
Tell you what Freddy likes.
See what Freddy likes. But yeah, Reese's peanut butter cups. Remember during Easter? I don't know if either one of y'all remember this. At HEB, they had those 2 big ass 1 pound peanut butter cups that they were selling.
Damn.
I bought one of those motherfuckers and I finished that shit in 2 days.
No shame.
2 days, man. No shame. That shit was fuck. I ate that shit with ice cream, homeboy. Talk about a fucking diabetic coma.
I was actually about to ask if anybody else here had ever like completely demolished one of those full-size chocolate Easter bunnies, but I'm looking around and I'm just gonna assume that yes.
Fuck yeah.
Just yes.
Which one?
The big old like 1 pound of like, or was it 1 pound or 5 pounds of fucking chocolate bunny? You ever get that shit? Because there was cheap ones that you could get.
No.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that
fuck.
disgusting chocolate that just had that aftertaste to it.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that's how I knew I was fat, dude. I got that on Easter and I finished it that night, dude. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you're eating it in stages. That's not like a all in one sitting thing. So
No.
you're staring. You're
You
like
start off at the head when you first get it.
dude. It's like a hyena kill. Like the corpse slowly disappears.
Yeah, man.
And the creature slowly consumes its prey: bone, skin, asshole, all of it.
So another thing that I want to throw out there, and how I know that now that I'm eating this way, I'm actually doing the right thing. A week ago, I want to say, I went somewhere with somebody. I was at a barbecue that didn't have any fucking barbecue.
The fuck?
Exactly. That's what I said. Anyway, point is that they didn't have barbecue. So I had to settle for what they had, which they were making burgers and they were making hot dogs. They fucking ran out of burgers by the time I got there. So all that was left was hot dogs.
Right.
So I ate one, and not even one hot dog. Like I ate half of the hot dog, and I ate half of the hot dog, and as soon as I got down to like half of it, my stomach automatically told me this shit's not gonna happen today. So, I literally, no bullshit at all. I literally felt when I ate that half a hot dog that it went straight through me. Like it was connected. It was just mouth to ass is what it was.
And just to keep the audience up to date, you got a thing with pork, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. But I was smart about it. I was like, hey man, because I know
you only ate half the hot dog. Yeah.
No. They weren't pork. They were beef.
Oh, it was beef.
Yeah.
Beef hot dogs.
It was a beef hot dog or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, as soon as I ate it, it went straight through. I went straight to the restroom after that, and it was a done deal. I only ate half, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Well, anyway, point and moral to that story is that again, I went home and I read about it, and the thing that sucks for most people, and I found out that I'm one of those most people, is that once your body, we have like this organism and shit inside of us, that once your body, you get used to it eating clean, you can't eat dirty sometimes because it'll react to it. So, and then there's some people that can eat clean and eat dirty at the same time, and there's no fucking problem. But it's just the way the metabolism in your intestines are like wired or whatever, that there's some people, like I found out for myself, that if you eat clean, you gotta continue eating clean, because if not, that shit will happen.
A lot of that comes down to the gut bacteria, man. Like I've noticed that, like the hardest thing for me when I get off the diet is once I get my body used to having the sugar and the carbohydrates and all that.
Yeah.
Like that's when the cravings kick in. Like if I'm on point and you know eating the clean proteins, the clean fats, the greens and all that good stuff, like I don't want candy.
Yeah,
like I never even get the urge for candy.
That's another thing.
Second I have a fucking potato chip, I'm eating the whole bag. Yeah. Then I'm getting me some motherfucking chocolate bars. Then I'm
exactly.
I think I saw some ice cream in that motherfucking. I'm gonna kill that ice cream.
Exactly.
That ice cream's dead, son.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, it's one of those things. It's like it's something that you activate within your body. That it's like once you start to do that, it's like your body is like, oh shit, I forgot that this is what I like. Give me more. But if you don't, like if you abstain from it the way I've abstained, like I figured out that my body, it's like it forgets about it. Like it like you don't even need it. Like right now, I no longer crave like the fucking like the Wendy's and the McDonald's and the fucking chicken nuggets.
I think it has something to do with the sugar, man, because I'm trying to cut drinking like diet sodas because of the aspartame and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I started to notice that I would drink one of those and I would get like the craving to drink either more of it or eat something along with it, and I was already full. But my cravings would kick in.
Exactly.
Like it would stimulate like this part of my mind or like through my palate, you know.
Yeah. The other thing that I've noticed in the short period of time that I've been doing this shit is that dude, like I'm no longer tired, man.
That's a big bonus, man.
When you hit 3 o'clock, before I started eating this way, dude, I'm getting chills just telling you this shit. Like when it would hit 3 o'clock, it's because it's crazy for me to say that I don't feel tired. Like when it would hit 3 o'clock and I was eating like shit, I would literally sometimes pass out in my chair and I wouldn't even fucking notice it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's 3 o'clock and I just feel the energy boost, like it's there. And if I'm sitting down, I'm just awake. I'm like completely awake. And before I would doze off, like my focus was off. I would start like dozing off into other things, and it's just like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock comes around, and like I'm good. Like the energy is just it's there, and that's because the thing that I am slacking on, because I haven't gotten used to it. For the people that don't know, along with this diet, because I do realize that I don't eat enough greens, is I am taking a multivitamin to supplement for the greens and the stuff that I don't eat. But the thing that sucks is that I'm not doing it on a daily basis. I need to get into the habit of doing it daily.
Well, there's so many other things that greens have that multivitamins don't cover.
I was about to point that out, man. Like, for example, the whole, you got to at least eat a cup of carbs maybe every other week or something like that. Like, that can be covered by a lot of the greens, man. Like a lot, celery, lettuce, those are real simple. They're mostly water, but they do have like simple sugars and simple carbs in them. You get into something like spinach and
all the salads that I eat, because of the fact that I don't like lettuce,
right.
I do an overload of spinach, because also spinach has protein in it.
Dude, I'll tell you, my favorite recently has been the baby spinach and baby kale mix. Like, if you get a good bag that's
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still trying to stomach the kale, man.
I've had really good kale, but like I remember reading an interview at one point. This Dutch motherfucker was talking about like coming to the U.S. and eating kale here, and like in like Europe, kale is a winter vegetable, right?
Yeah.
And like how kale, like you see it in the store and it's that like it's get that all those folds and it's real lacy and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks real all. I'm trying to look for the word to properly describe. It's all folded over and shit. You know what I mean? It's all. That is actually. That means that the plant has been under stress. Like apparently, the way you're supposed to eat kale, it's supposed to have a very flat like leaf to it. That's why the baby kale actually tastes a little sweeter before the leaf is gone through that defense mechanism.
I didn't know
did
that.
not know.
Yeah, kale is supposed to be a sweet green.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I do know that kale is also good for your breath.
Yeah, it is.
Like for you, like when you have stinky ass breath, like myself.
Right.
It really controls your breath.
Put yourself out there, man. Yeah.
I know.
I don't give a fuck. I have nasty ass breath if I don't take care of it.
To do our obligatory mention of the Joe Rogan podcast, fucking being most of us have listened to it, a while when he used to talk about the kale shakes, man. I tried that for probably a good 6 or 7 months, man. And
how often and how would you do it?
Every day, man.
But like one shake, 1 16 ounce or 12 ounce, or
yeah, it was probably like a 6.
But it was just straight kale, or
no, it was kale, celery. I changed up the
because
final.
that sounds like you did the mint green juice.
The final recipe I was going with was what was it? Kale, celery, cucumber, cilantro, avocado.
Oh, you're straight, man. If you drink that in a day, you're straight.
Yeah, man. Dude, people sleep on fucking like cilantro, man, but that shit's great for you, man. Yeah.
It's a big antioxidant.
And the fucking garlic, dog, dude. The raw garlic. And the ginger, dude.
Oh, no.
Big old chunk of ginger and
You fucked me up on that.
Dude, that raw garlic. That's the one
And you would
thing,
drink this shit?
Yeah, motherfucker. Whoo, that was spicy.
How about that ass when you farted?
Not that bad, man. Not that
it
bad.
Regulated you though, like with all those vitamins.
Not really. Like it was pretty much like an enema from the other end.
Oh,
like
for real?
It goes in here, and a couple hours later, it's coming out the other side.
So it just takes the nutrients and just pushes the rest out.
Pushes the rest out.
Yeah. It was probably to be honest, the most it was doing was the fiber intake, but also I think the garlic and the ginger like kind of going through and help regulate the gut biome. That's another thing people don't realize, man. There's a lot of food like kale, for example, man. You're not eating it necessarily because your body can absorb all the stuff that's in it.
Yeah.
But the bacteria in your gut will break that down into stuff that your body can use.
Well, did you guys know also that when you guys eat meat, like actual like animal meat, stuff that comes from other living...
I thought that's what the fuck I was eating. What do you mean?
Well, yeah. Well, that stuff, it doesn't metabolize in your gut. It actually metabolizes
in your liver?
No, in your bowels. So it goes straight to like your colon and stuff, you know?
Okay, hold on. Run that again?
Yeah, like when you eat meat.
When I eat red meat.
Chicken.
Or any meat.
Chicken, red meat. I'm not sure if fish is like that.
Okay.
But chicken, red meat, pork, all those meats...
Mm-hmm.
They don't metabolize in your stomach. They metabolize in your bowels. So it goes straight to like your colon, and your colon is breaking that down.
That makes no sense. Your stomach is literally where the hydrochloric acid is.
No, but it isn't. Sometimes let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
But hold on, because I have a question on that. So say that's true.
As a matter of fact,
that
that's how you get.
Just
to point this out, this is how you get like something like diverticulitis. Is if your body is not breaking down those proteins before they pass into your colon, those can actually cause damage to the gut, because the protein has to be denatured before it's like, or I may be getting that wrong.
Well, because you get significant amounts of protein from all sorts of things. It's not just like meat.
Yeah.
So I mean, they like your stomach can metabolize protein.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on, I'm still.
But what my question is, if what he's saying is right, that doesn't sound good. I don't think.
Well, because originally
that's not supposed to happen.
Our bodies weren't intended to consume like
meat.
Yeah, I think we're pushing the limits, and that's
yeah.
like pushing evolution. I think
yeah.
you know like.
And that's where I was going. It's crazy that he just said that, because that was something that I was gonna point out. That's another thing that the large majority of people don't know. Our body, when you ask a real doctor that really understands the anatomy of the body, and that they're not biased,
mm-hmm.
they will tell you that our body was not built to eat any kind of meat at all. We were built to, like, our digestive system, our body and everything, like, was built to be. We were supposed to be plant based to begin with.
I will give.
And then
my understanding.
Well, it says here lower stomach, the lower stomach, but it shows it on like the
so what's in
part.
Does anybody know what's in the lower stomach?
I think that's closer to the acids and all that good bacteria, and also closer to the bowel exit.
Okay.
So it's not at the top of all of your stomach, which still has some acids.
Right.
But I'm guessing it has like the more concentrated acids down there.
So, but
it's also slower to like break down.
Yeah.
It stays in your body longer.
That's a fact, because of the texture, the consistency. Like I see that.
Yeah, most of what your shit is protein. Like,
yeah,
that's the excess and waste. You know, the metabolite of your system. Like, a lot of it is actually dead. You know, blood and body cells that are being expelled.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was
about the meat.
Yeah, that was part of the reason. You know, the Atkins diet was real big back in the late '90s or whatever, and then you had people dying from fucking coronaries and shit, and a lot of it was they were, you know, instead of going like, oh, it's the increased intake of clean cholesterol that is actually helping with that diet. It's not people just heard I get to eat bacon, and they were stuffing a shitload of protein into their system, not realizing that, like, if you're not giving your body enough cholesterol to produce ketones,
mm-hmm.
and all your body has is protein, it will turn that protein into sugar.
Yeah.
One, because sugar is easier.
If you don't, that is more so for people that are not active. If you're active, you don't give your system enough time for your body to turn the protein into sugar. The reason being is because once your body
you can't burn protein.
No, that's where I'm going. The reason being is because your body breaks down the protein,
Right.
and then before you shit it out and before it leaves, it takes all of the broken down protein, and it distributes it to your muscles, to everything that it needs, and then that happens. For people that are not active, like for example, people that are not active at all, like my dad, that eat a shitload of meat, then that's when that happens. Then it just sits there. Your body, because it is not acting and it's not producing that cycle. Back to what you were saying earlier.
You're not putting any stress on it that would require it to need the protein for repairs.
Exactly. So then what that does, then the body is like, all right, well, we need sugar, so we're going to turn this fucking protein into sugar, and then that's how you end up getting fat anyway, even if you do just eat like pure protein or what have you. That is also the reason being as into why professionals tell you that if you don't work out, you should never use protein powder as a meal replacement, because you're just gonna get fat. Like that. That's what. That's because supposedly, and I don't have extensive knowledge on this, but protein powder is supposed to be lean protein, and it's supposed to be the source. So you're intaking nothing but protein. So if you intake it, even if it doesn't have sugar like it says on the label or whatever, that protein is going to go into your body. It's going to be broken down, but it's going to be turned into sugar. Because unfortunately, going back to the way that we're built, our body runs on carbs and sugar.
I thought you were going to say Dunkin' Donuts.
That's why.
At its simplest form, it can either run off of sugar or ketones.
Yeah.
Now it can turn anything into sugar.
Yeah.
Which is a problem for like people people who misunderstand something like the Atkins diet or a ketogenic diet, where they think it's like, oh well, as long as I don't eat carbs, I'm good. And it's like, no, you got to give it the lipids, the fats, the cholesterol, so that
And some of these fruits, like it's better to digest them not in like shakes or anything like that, but like in whole, because of the fiber content. Like it balances out the sugar.
Dude, there are a shitload of people. From reading some stuff, my understanding is there are a shitload of people who tried to go fruitarian and just ended up giving themselves diabetes, man.
Well, there's certain, like, you have to do it in a certain way. You have to be a high like level, like energy level person. You have to be doing like marathons and like cycling.
Something
you can't
that
be a couch potato.
Something that a lot of people need to also understand, and this is what a lot of professional people argue this as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately and fortunately, it's a double-edged sword, because of the way that we're built. We were also built to exercise, to be active.
By the way, to go back to a point you made earlier about us not being designed to digest meat,
that's where I thought that you were going.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say was we got off track somewhere. What I was going to say was it's not necessarily that we're not designed to digest meat. It's that we're not. It's almost like we adapted to digest meat. It's not, but we do have the function.
That is true, but you said a key word. You said a very big key word.
What's that?
We adapted to digest meat, and we have the function for that to process meat, basically.
Well,
right. But that's
the thing is
I think that anything else from animals too, because at first I had heard that because I was vegan for a long time, and a lot of the literature that they presented,
yeah. I didn't know.
Dude, at my thinnest, I was like
right.
200 pounds, man.
At your thinnest?
That was my thinnest adult life, bro. I'm also pretty tall, and like I have muscle behind this fat, but they presented that you're not like, humans weren't designed to eat like anything off of animals. That we had to develop enzymes, and like we had to eliminate certain like I think it was the pancreas or something like that,
Yeah.
that helped with digesting mother's milk. But
Yeah.
now that we're consuming milk from other animals, like we had to adapt, meaning that we were all lactose intolerant at first.
That's a great fucking point that brings up, because I read something about that, and this is what I remember reading. And you said it, we are not supposed to drink milk from other fucking animals. The reason being is
unless you come from some like specific like population group, like Mongolian, certain African populations, certain Western European populations that are like goat and cow based. Yeah, most of the human population, most of the human race should not be drinking, eating, consuming dairy products. That being said, most of that has to do with either the sugars or the proteins in the dairy. So butter is awesome, and you can pry my butter out of my cold dead hands.
The reason I'm saying that is because, like, going back to what he was saying was that
okay, just to point out real quick, because this is where I have contention with it, is a lot of the times when you hear the statement, the human body isn't designed to consume animal products, that leaves out a couple thousand years at least of, not a couple, more than that. It leaves out quite a few thousands of years of adaptation that has taken place.
Well, I think when they referred in that statement, like, hey, the human body wasn't designed to do all this, I think they refer back to when we were hominids and we were just set in different like sects of people.
Oh yeah. We are a specialized. We are a
yeah. Like,
that's the thing. Our specialization within the hominid family, tree, genus, whatever the fuck, is that we are unspecialized. For example, the whole reason that we have an appendix is because we tried like weird food. So every once in a while you'd get food poisoning, and your body would just flush out. You'd get the shits, you're vomiting. Your body basically cleared out almost all of its gut bacteria, so that appendix acted as a backup and a starter pouch for the next round of gut bacteria, so that you didn't lose all of your good, healthy gut flora by one round of food poisoning. You know what I mean? That is an adaptation to be an unspecialized, an omnivore. It was, look, granted, we're not in a lot of ways, we're like a half-built like machine. Like we
have functions that we're not really using.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I get it. The only thing that I wanted to point out with that and kind of reiterate what was that it goes back to the same thing that you both said. We were not built for that or built that way. But on the same token, we have one of the easiest systems, speaking of our body, that adapts to your environment. So yes, we adapted, but initially, whenever we came from, wherever we came from, and this differs to depending what you believe in, that's not the point. Wherever the fuck it is that we came from, whatever you believe.
Hey, look, throw out the hominids. Just take in known human history. Say the last 10,000 years of history, man. We have a pretty good idea of what we were eating.
We've been synthesizing food, and that's something new. You know?
That's a great way to put it.
There's at least minor evidence that Neanderthals were fucking going tuna fishing 40,000 years ago.
But what I also want to throw out there, and this is what a lot of people disagree with me as well, because of the shit that we've done over the past 10,000 years per se, as far as like synthesizing food or changing shit, and the way the food has evolved and the way that we eat has evolved, that's why I feel that we also introduced so many fucking diseases and shit. because, again, I don't think we were built to eat the way that we eat, but we adapted and we started eating like what we eat, and we started changing our diet. But that came at the cost of, okay, now because you do this, you have this disease, and this comes from this and shit like that. Like, and I'm gonna say this, and this is another thing that I'm probably gonna get backlash from a listener or from y'all or whatever. But I mean, it's a fact, and it's a fact when you look at the science part of it. This is leaving every religion out of it, every religious belief, all of that out the window. Scientifically, and you can go and you can research this, the human being is not supposed to consume pork at all, because pork, and I don't know the breakdown of it, the breakdown of the animal, but pork has, and it's not a thing, the way the pork is and the way the pork was created, and the what we eat off of it, that
I think that is a variable, because I know several people, yourself included, but I know several people who have issues with eating pork in various forms and in various ways. Maybe it causes digestive problems. Maybe it gets them food food poisoning, something like that. But personally, myself, not a problem.
No. That's what you're not understanding. When you eat it, like, it's cool. Like, you're gonna eat it and it's gonna go down right and it's gonna be delicious, and that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Like me, I love baby back ribs. You give me
but you've also told a story, I believe, on this podcast about fucking like having to go to the hospital after a rack of baby back ribs.
Exactly.
So maybe not quite the same.
But what I'm saying is that my only point with that was with the actual pig or what have you. The human body is not is not built to ingest or digest or intake.
Well, what it's showing here
pork.
is that like it depends on your not digestive system per se, but your like excretory system, like how well
you push it out.
You push it out, but also how well you sweat out the enzymes in the pork that you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of people, when they eat bacon, they get like the bacon sweats because of all those
really?
enzymes. Yeah,
that's a real thing.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, there's like
bacon sweats.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also an issue, man. That like
and for all the pork eaters, man, y'all keep doing y'all thing. I'm not shitting on people that eat pork. I'm just saying shit that I've read and
let me
shit like that.
Throw this out there, man. I've never really like considered this before, but to anybody who's ever had any issues with like eating meat, like like you eat a steak and you feel kind of funny afterwards or something, go try halal. Like,
what's that?
It's the basically
sounds like something that came out of a pigeon coop and shit.
It's the Islamic form of kosher.
Oh shit! Now I shitted on the Muslims. I'm sorry.
Oh, you done it now. But the
terroristic threats.
part of the process is to bleed them out real quickly, so you get all of the blood out of the animal system. Like
that's like a big thing about it, because of their blood has all these toxins, and since it's pumping through most of their muscle tissue.
Well, as gruesome as it is, if you watch any of those like camel executions, where like they just take the real sharp knife and like into the main artery in the neck, sometimes the camel, I would suggest probably in the good ones, the camel doesn't notice until it's already passing out. And part of the benefit from that would be that it doesn't release all of those like hormones into the system as it's dying.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you ever seen like a really clean hunting kill.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was my ADD or what, but you lost me at hormones. What did you say from the hormone?
There's harmful hormones.
There's harmful hormones. Adrenaline and fucking all that kind of.
But from what? What are you talking about?
Cortisone and.
No. I got
okay,
that.
But it gets released by the endocrine system into the bloodstream of the animal.
Okay.
Think about how unhealthy it is for you to be stressed, right?
Yeah.
Like stress is a big thing. So you're eating an animal that is stressed. So it has all these bad hormones that you're producing.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
I got you. That's the part that I missed. The animal part. I was like, where the fuck is this coming?
Yeah.
I got you. So basically, not to bite off or quote Cat Williams, but basically what you're saying is long term, how the animal really feels does matter before you eat them.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I think there's something to the idea of like an animal living like, all right, if you're farming animals, like having it live out like a pretty happy, cozy, comfortable existence right up until the point that you shut the lights off.
Yeah. So if you eat an animal suffering from depression, you're basically fucked.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, you're not fucked, but
well, now
you're gonna consume a lower grade meat, and it's gonna you could obviously it'll be like problematic to your digestive system, I assume, and also like
so then
I think you could probably transfer over like the response, like maybe the something cortisol or something like that. I don't know how that would break down.
like even that out with like a supplement.
Yeah, and I know like cooking the meat would probably have some effect on that, like by denaturing the proteins and all that shit. But like, I mean, either way, I don't know, man. You're putting precursors into the system.
My question becomes is where the fuck do I find happy chickens?
Farm raised. You'll see it in packaging. Farm raised, organic, cage free, like
cage free. Well, fuck.
Yeah. No, it actually makes a difference though, because my parents, they have like a farm out in the middle of nowhere, and they have chickens, and it's all free range. And whenever we would like not kill a chicken, or whenever we would have bursts when we wouldn't have the chickens, we would eat like Tyson chicken, like in the packaging and stuff like that, and you could taste it. It just tasted like chemically. And it just tasted weird and like not like it didn't taste bad, but you could just taste like the fakeness in it.
Yeah.
You know?
I just realized something, and I have a little pushback on myself, even what I said earlier. Going back to what we were talking about, the that we shouldn't drink or eat like from milk from other animals and shit like that. On the same token, I was reading that bison are very they're very healthy and rich in high. It's basically the highest rich protein that you can eat when you cut out like all the fat and you eat the protein.
Well, dude, the fat's supposed to be pretty good too.
Yeah, well, I mean, for somebody that's like trying to lean out or whatever.
Well, look, like, man, that goes back to the argument about balancing out your protein intake, man. What you need is a lot of lipids so that your body can go through the function. Like,
also, a lot of water to push all that out. Because you could get constipated with all that.
So that's why.
Like, here's the thing, man. The argument kind of dies against humans and animal products when you consider the fact that a human being consuming nothing but animal protein, and all right, that's not entirely true. You do need a bit of supplementation, but for the most part, you can live easier off of animal protein than you could off of, say, a single source of plant protein.
Oh, for 100%.
Well, the argument could be made because it is possible, like to do all of that, but it also like it all depends on like your genealogy and what like your ancestry.
That is also a huge thing.
Yeah, like if your ancestry and your inclinage was made for like a vegan and a vegetarian lifestyle, then then it would make sense for you to stick to something like that, you know, because that's what you were built for.
Well, think about this, man. Like people think of corn as a source of carbohydrates, but rarely have I heard it considered the fact that, like, say, take what do you call it, masa.
Yeah.
Like breaking the corn down with that lime soak actually makes the proteins in that corn available for digestion.
No joke.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that either.
Same thing with something like quinoa down in South America.
You also want to throw out there, because I made the same mistake. when you talk about corn or any vegetable for that matter, you have to keep in mind that these need to be fresh. You can't get shit in a can. Like vegetables in a can are not healthy.
They are healthier than not having them.
Yeah.
But
yeah. If you put it that way, yeah. But you also can't.
If you have the choice, then go with the fresh.
You can't.
Are you also like against the frozen vegetables too?
No. What? Yes, but no.
They put less stuff to packet. Like they put less like packaging ingredients in them. Like
it's just again the real big thing about that, man, and anything frozen for that matter, is the high fucking intake of sodium. There's so much sodium because of and I get it.
That's more of a problem with the canned.
Well, I mean, but with the frozen as well, like that.
Actually,
the other thing,
your bigger problem with the frozen is the plastic that it's coming in. I mean, it's reasonably okay, but you never know, man.
The thing
that's another thing. Like, the plastic in most things lowers down testosterone, and it has like if like the probabilities of you having low T if you're drinking like bottled water and stuff like that is like very minimal, but it's another thing that adds.
And that's actually the minorest issue, man. The major issue would be it getting into cells and causing
like cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another good point that I wanted to point out while he was here.
Because we weren't meant to like eat stuff out of plastic. That's like anything to us.
I'm just so you know, and I know you're gonna trip out when I tell you this. Is like, well, why do I need to know this? I took the last cycle of the T booster, so now I'm on the cycle that I'm supposed to be off it, and I'm gonna come completely off it because you fucking jinxed me.
Why? What do you mean?
Now I'm fucking like hard for no reason.
Bro, I told you, like, man. Taking that tea.
It's just in the morning, in the afternoon.
Yo, dude.
Walking down the fucking street.
What prompted the T booster?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, where you're like fucking low on this testosterone, yo?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm gonna speak for me because I took a T booster for a while. Now I'm just like trying to live very like minimal, so I cut that expense out because it is expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
So what prompted me was like my energy. Like I noticed that I was eating clean. Like I was vegan for a while.
Yeah.
And I was eating clean and all that stuff, and I noticed my energy levels were low, and I also noticed that I had like this foggy memory. And around that same time too, like I quit like watching like porn and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, stimulation out on a screen. Like I stopped that, everything, to like because of my energy. I noticed that I was like getting really tired.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I looked up like the benefits of taking a T booster, that was one of the main things. It was like you get energy, you get a clear mind, and you basically optimize your performance. Like if you're sitting down or anything, you know.
I get you.
Yeah.
So with me, like, and it's not a joke. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like when I'm telling you, like I had an erection for no reason. And I was like, hey, bro, like what the fuck? Like, you know, sometimes, like I was at the pharmacy and I was waiting for some shit.
You know, it's funny. Just like most things in life, this all comes back to one man's erection. Sorry.
So I was just
all of history.
Like I was
for
just,
one dick.
I got real horny. So.
I was just sitting.
I went out
and
slaughtered an entire people. Took their land. Did some things, yeah.
But I got laid.
I was.
Definitely got some pussy. Yeah.
I was just sitting there at the pharmacy, and then just for no reason, so the lady called me to get the shit that I was gonna pick up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get up, because it was just me, another lady, and the lady behind the car. And I mean, like, when I have no shame in fucking telling you this because I don't give a fuck. Like when I try to tell you that I was hard, it was like rock solid, bro. Like it was like we doing this shit right now. You know what I mean? So like if I got up, it's like, you know, I wasn't gonna be able to pull it off. So I was like this shit, and then
that would have actually been no shame. It's just like fuck it, we're waving 10 pole tonight.
But
like an advertisement sign.
but But yeah, man. Then
Make eye contact with everybody in that room.
then it continued to happen randomly. Ironically, the only place where it didn't happen was at the gym. But that's because I get it. My testosterone was boosted to other places.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this shit. So right now I'm on my off cycle and
It's almost like borderline steroids too. Like you get like a pump.
Yeah,
like a big
man.
Pump
Have you ever tried a T booster? You worked out before, right? Like weights.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that all the what you're describing, I've actually gotten through massive diet changes. Like when I was doing like the straight like clean proteins and like a lot of fucking like fat. Like primarily, it was almost it was a primarily ketogenic diet and a lot of fasting and like to the point where I was
when you did the fasting. How long were you doing your fasting periods? I'm curious. More or less
18 hours at the most.
Okay. That because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Another thing that I don't think I've told you, and I can't say I'm doing it like straight on yet, but I'm fasting 2 days out of the week, so I fast with nothing but water. Right now I'm struggling a little bit because on the second day I do feel I feel it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I need to get some food.
Yeah.
I need to get some food. But what I have been doing, my initial food intake is I start eating unsalted peanuts. So just peanuts, and then my body's like, oh, okay, we're getting food again. So then I go back to the protein. And then the thing that's hard about it though, and it's not hard, I'm getting used to it. Working out, bro. Working out when you're fasting. Fuck.
There's people that fast though for like weeks, and like that actually functions for them because they like they only do it for like just like maybe 4 times a year for like a couple weeks.
Well,
right.
the reason that I do it for 48 hours is because I read that that's how long it takes for your whole body, not just your that's another thing that people don't understand. Not just your digestive system and your intestines, like your whole body. If you can fast with nothing but water for 48 hours, it regenerates everything in your. It's like hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
On your body. So that's the reason as to why I chose to do it. Again, the thing that sucks and that kicked me in the ass was when I thought that I was Superman and I was fasting and I took my ass to the gym and I was like, oh.
I mean, I'm guessing there is ways you could work out, but not to like that extent, like pushing yourself.
Yeah.
And strength. Like
see, and the thing is that when I went to work out when I was fasting, I didn't do any weights.
Yeah, and especially because you just started working out like every day, right?
Yeah.
So you're still at some point like still building up a tolerance to like working out and putting yourself like under that much physical stress.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it got to the point. Again, it happened at the end of my workout, but when I was done and I was walking out the door, no bullshit, I got really lightheaded. I got like really, and I was like, holy shit. And then I kept asking myself, I was like, is this supposed to happen? Should I go to the hospital? Should I go to the doctor? And then like every other fucking Mexican, I was like, nah, I'm just going to go home and I'm going to sleep it off. I'll be all right. Yeah. So I just came home. I waited for about 30 minutes and then I drank a shitload of water. And then I grabbed peanuts and I started like just going off on the peanuts.
Yeah.
And then, what I was going to cap that off with was that the day after, the morning after, I felt fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I woke up and I was like, the fuck happened? Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, but then it goes back to what I said earlier. It's like hitting that reset button on your whole body that your body tells you, all right, man, I rested. Thank you. Now let's get this going.
Man.
There's something about stressing the system that can put you in some like fucking crazy like mode, man. Like you just turn something on where the body goes, oh, okay, now we're gonna do some shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt. I felt like my body was like, hey man, thank you. I feel great. Now, what do you want me to do for you? So that's how I felt. I felt like I could fucking do anything at that point. And again, so another thing, and I admit this and I talk about this openly, and I've talked to y'all about it. When that happened, bro, my depression is like somebody turned on the happy switch. Like when that day after I got up and everything, and I can tell you, I genuinely felt happy for no reason. Like I felt so comfortable and happy that I felt that it was wrong. As crazy as it may sound.
Yeah, no,
I
there's
was like,
something
why the
about
fuck?
almost starving that like
That makes you realize, you know what? I do want to
no,
live.
no. It's real simple, man. It's your body going, oh shit, he's about to die.
Yeah.
Give him some of the happy juice.
Yeah.
Everything's okay now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I just
Get up,
like,
you dumbass motherfucker. Go get some food.
I was like, and I woke up and I felt happy. Like I felt happy for no reason, to the point that I started thinking, I was like, am I supposed to be this happy? I don't think this feels right.
I think it's just the whole reset that you put your body through. You know, you stopped doing all this like bad stuff, like putting like bad food in your body. You started burning most like of what you had, and you started watching basically what you ate.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you started fasting and regenerating cells.
Dude, it
Yeah.
reminds me of like this quote. I was listening to somebody talk about taking CBD oil for the first time, and the person who gave it to him, this was pure CBD oil, no THC. And the person giving it to him said, this is not going to get you high. They took it, and they come back like 3 hours later, and they're like, oh, fuck, you told me this wasn't going to get me high. And it's like, you're not high, but have you ever considered that you were in so much fucking stress and pain that, like, this is what normal should feel
Yeah,
like?
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. Oh, which brings me to that point that I was going to make. When I felt that somebody turned on the happy switch, because that's exactly what I felt. I felt that like somebody went bloop, and like I was good. I had not felt that feeling. And I'm being 1,000% honest. I had not felt that happy in that feeling without the use of marijuana. Honestly. I felt that happy like when I was blown out of my mind. Like that's when I felt that happening. Again, people, I don't advocate, I'm not advocating smoking. If you don't smoke weed because of whatever reason, you don't have to smoke weed. I'm telling you what worked for me and what it does for me. I'm
just
not
to
saying,
throw some science at this so Freddy doesn't look like a druggie. Cannabinoids are actually what your brain uses to signal like certain things. I'm if I remember correctly,
by the way, cannabis is not a drug. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Whatever it is that your body releases to let you know that you're full, like, oh, you've eaten enough, like that's related to cannabinoids, like that type of molecule.
You also produce like a THC like substance. It's like a TH family like substance.
Dopamine?
No, not dopamine. But it's you release that kind of hormone when you do long stretches of running, like long cardioactive like activity.
Right.
Actually, like turns on this thing that you turn on when you get high.
Yeah, I was telling this, like this whole discussion that we just had, I was actually sharing this with one of my friends because he's pretty overweight. Like, well, he's really overweight. And he's trying to lose weight. He's trying to work out and everything. But he just doesn't have the will. Like, he doesn't have the will to remain consistent. Like, he'll go to the gym for 3 days and then he'll stop completely. So that's why he's never been able to get on track and stay on track. So I was explaining all of this to him, just like the way that I'm explaining to y'all now, like the benefits of eating clean, why you should eat this, not eat that, the working out, the shit that I've learned. And then at the end of that conversation, he was like, I don't know why you say that you're not a professional. Like, how do you know all this shit? And like, He was more. I was pissed off because he was more amazed with the fact of like the shit that I knew, other than listening to like what I was telling him and how to do it and why to do it. And he's like, man, like how do you know that? And this relates to what I'm gonna say right now. Like for the people that are watching us and listening to us, we're not professionals by a long shot. But what I will tell you, man, is that we live in the age of technology, which means that at this point in your life, if you're able to log onto a computer with internet and you still don't know a lot of things, it is your right and your choice to remain stupid. Like that's a choice that you completely make. And because everything literally is now at your fingertips. There's so much shit that you can research from so many credible sources.
But I think at that point too, like you have to watch your other diets, like what you're reading and what you're like listening to and all this other stuff, because that has an effect on your body as well.
What do you mean?
Like if, for example, like
don't
if you
fuck with my music.
No. Well, if you listen to certain musics at like high beats and like that are more aggressive, it puts you in a natural state of stress. And if you listen to stuff that's more relaxing, that like brings down that stress level.
Well, yeah, that's why it puts you to sleep.
But also, like, if you want to take it psychological, like, if you listen to stuff that's negative and telling you and bringing you down about everything, then
I see what you're saying.
You're gonna.
Is this why I drop a tear every time when I hear Simple Man?
I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha. Hey, did you say 5 minutes?
It's getting close to like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, you got like 6 minutes, maybe.
6 minutes.
Maybe 7 minutes.
I did not know that we were gonna make this whole episode on nutrition and health benefits. I'm happy with the conversation that we had.
Vitamin Shop, come hook us up.
Vitamin Shack, Protein Shop, one of you motherfuckers, you know.
And again, I know it sounds simple as fuck, but I really do think the most important rule is like try, you know what I mean? Try stuff if you want to try like diets and stuff, augmentations and adaptions in your diet. But most importantly, if you eat a certain way, do certain shit, and you feel good, then do that.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything will work for everybody the same way. Going back to the
that should not be used as a justification to die as a fat ass diabetic.
Exactly. Thank you, Sean, for pointing that out.
I like candy.
Yeah, exactly. It also does not mean that gives you the right, or it's like, okay, I can just lay back and I can stuff my face. No, I mean not unless you want to purposely die, which, you know, I haven't seen a person like that in a long time.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't give you the reason to be like, "All right, fuck it then. I'm just gonna live this way." And
you know what? I do wonder, man. Since we have come to this, like, all right, like we kind of know how diabetes works, and like
for the most part,
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. We're still some
figuring
of the intricacies, but for the most part, if you got type 2 diabetes, we know more or less how you got that way, unless you've got like extraneous issues involved with that. Yeah. Like pretty much you ate badly, your shit don't work no more.
Pretty much.
And I think maybe there, at least in a certain aspect, there's less sympathy for that.
Yeah.
There's almost like a, hey, get your shit together type of like.
Like if type 2 diabetes is a disability, that's like a fucking ridiculous move, dude, to make it a disability. Like no sympathy there. Like alcoholism. It's like an alcoholism like disease.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, there are other ways you can get type 2 diabetes. So like.
Yeah. But mostly like that's where you lead to, like if someone's overweight and they have type 2 diabetes, it's like,
well, you don't have to be overweight to get type 2 diabetes either, man. It's as long as if your body is having an improper response, like with your pancreas to the sugar levels and all that.
No, but I'm saying like those kinds of people are looked at as like, oh, these people did it to themselves, like systematically, like they like were handed good cards, but they just fucked up their body.
Yeah. But I wonder if that would have some sort of like, you know, there's a bit of a look, shame should not be the first tool to change society's behavior.
Yeah.
I think it's a good tool though.
It does work,
Yeah.
though. You know what I mean? Don't be wrong. It can be taken too far to the point where
I
you know,
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Like
100%.
you call me fat so much, I'm gonna be like, all right, I don't like this. I'm gonna change this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, and this is what I want people to understand. Like, especially when it comes from a friend. Like,
Yeah.
when this person is your friend, and I'm talking about your real friend.
It hurts when it's a friend, and I just stop hanging out with those friends. It's
Well, that's
beneficial.
because you decided to be a bitch about it. That's
no,
what I'm saying.
but it actually, for me at least, it leaves a bigger mark if it's people I don't even know. Look at me like, damn, this
No,
guy's
because
fat.
then you kind of
Yeah.
know and feel like they're being dicks about it.
Yeah, but
I'm
I mean
saying-
that's an opinion you can't change regardless. I mean,
You can't change your friend's opinion
you
either.
could talk to him.
when
Be like,
somebody says just the right thing that like you realize like, oh, this person like maybe not intentionally, it's not like they're being mean, but like in their mind I am labeled fat dude.
yeah,
Like if like you know that if they were like a machine identifying
Now,
targets like
something-
skinny dude, awkward dude, fat dude.
Something that I want to throw out there, like in regards to exactly what you're saying, is another thing that you should keep in mind is if you want to take the dickish and asshole-ish approach about it and fat shame somebody or tell them something because they're fat or whatever, make sure that either before or after you do that, you also let them know or encourage them for a change. Don't just be a dick about it and be like, hey, bro, you're so fat, and just stop eating.
yeah, like that would be
You know what I'm
nice.
saying?
And
So-
let me throw out this might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but if you've known somebody and you have seen their weight fluctuate to a certain degree where you know for a fact that they are currently on a downward trend as far as I should say upward trend as far as their like current amount of weight gain, to the point of you're like, oh, this is unhealthy for them. Like I've
Yeah.
seen the way they fluctuate and this is bad. Yeah, by all means say something. And the other like little caveat to that would be if you know somebody who is unhealthily overweight, obese, I believe would be the technical term, and they express an urge to change their behavior to lose weight and do something about this, be more healthy, if they express that urge and do nothing to change their actual behavior, they've invited shame upon themselves.
Yeah. True. True.
I thought you were gonna say like feed that urge, but no.
That's true.
Oh yeah, you feed that urge by
Shame.
shame.
Well, with that being said,
This vehicle takes diesel, kerosene, and shame. Yes.
like I mentioned before, I just want to close out my part on that. I didn't intend for like this whole episode to be like
We're
on
coming up
health
to the
and
close here right now, right?
on nutrition. But just like I've reiterated in the past about these episodes, sometimes it's not always going to be about comedy or whatever the case may be.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this will be, I believe this is the first solo episode will be going out.
What the fuck
The
happened
other
to
one,
the other ones?
the other one hasn't been released yet. We haven't even talked about any of that. This is going out Wednesday, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying they're about to. Anyway, we got announcements. We got changes going on. Obviously, got Joaquin behind the camera. I believe you actually said Joaquin's real name, but you know that's on your.
I didn't.
That's
I didn't
shame
say
on
your
you,
real name.
not shame on me. So
I said cameraman is all I said. I never said.
I'll just bleep out when you said my name.
I did say it for real.
It's okay. Though.
oh,
It's
I'm
okay.
editing the audio and I'm leaving it in.
All right, leave it in. Stalkers, come on.
I did say it for real.
Yeah, I think you did. I'm
Hey.
also half awake because you made me get up early.
You feel shame later.
Yeah.
Yes,
shit.
yes. Our
Um,
behind the scenes production crew has driven through the night to get here for y'all's entertainment. So I hope y'all enjoy this.
definitely. You want to lead us out?
Yes.
Make it seem like a Sunday service. You want to close out with prayer?
In the name of Jesus.
If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us at bouncingbrains@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Bouncing Brains Podcast. You can find us at Twitter under Bouncing Brains. You can find us, on Stitcher?
Yeah, Stitcher.
Yes.
And the Google Music Play Store.
Yes. And you can go to shoutengine.com/Bouncing Brains, and you can watch the video version of this podcast at YouTube under Bouncing Brains.
All right.
I believe I got all that.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Freddy G across the board. When does this episode go on?
This episode will go out on the 29th?
29th, that's Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
Of May.
Yes. 2019.
Okay. So with that being said, I do have a show coming up on June the 8th in Brownsville, I think. Yeah, Brownsville. And I also have a show on June the 20th. No, June the 8th is in Raymondville. Sorry about that. Raymondville on June the 8th. June 20th is in Brownsville. So make sure that you catch those shows. I will be posting. I think the flyers are out already. I'll make sure to repost them again on my social media. So if you don't follow me again on Facebook, Instagram.
Should people come and fat shame you so you can
continue?
continue?
So y'all can fat shame me and
continue
everything.
with the weight loss.
Keep
that motivation going.
I'm going to keep, in the famous words of Joe Dirt, I'm going to keep on keeping on. You understand?
Right on. You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com as well as Hatfield Standup on Facebook and Twitter. I got a show coming up on the 19th of June in Brownsville at the Kraken Lounge with our good friend Jesse Lopez hosting.
Awesome.
Nice.
What else?
I think that's all we got.
I believe the only thing else to mention would be, if all goes well, the next time one of these episodes comes out, it will be premiering on RGV Titan Radio.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm such a shitty fucking marketer or promoter, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I would like to remind all of y'all that pretty soon you're gonna hear all of our episodes airing and premiering at rgvtitanradio.com. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you check them out. Shout out to Vinny and Fred. Thank you for the opportunity. And make sure you go out there and support us, man. All we need is your ears for the most part. And I appreciate the support. Everybody that's been watching and listening from the very beginning. All three of you motherfuckers, I appreciate y'all too.
We love y'all.
Until next time.
Peace. Good
Y'all
night.
Keep it tight.